Is inflation eating away at your retirement, or are you stuck working because your Social Security and retirement will not be enough to cover your costs if you stop working? If this sounds like a situation you're facing, let me ask you this. Have you considered moving abroad and stretching your monthly retirement so it does not run out before your next payday? That's what I want to talk about today. I want to share with you how you really can make your retirement last all month. Did you know that the average American is currently collecting around $2,000 from Social Security every month? I don't know about you, but I don't know anyone who can make that work in the majority of the U.S. today. Honestly, you might need to spend almost all of it on rent depending on where you currently live. Now, before I get into rent or other budget items, I want to show you some pictures of prices throughout Manila just to prove how cheap it really is. First, let's start with how inexpensive a massage is. As you can see in the photo, this is Yatz's Massage in Manila, and they will do a back massage for 100 pesos or $1.75. Do you know anywhere in the USA where you can get a back massage starting at $1.75? I sure don't. I actually pay a lot for them because I like them. If you want to pause the video, you can look up the prices in American dollars. The prices in the pic are in Philippine peso. The conversion rate right now is about 57 Philippine pesos for every US dollar. Let's look at another sign for a haircut place. Sorry about the bad quality pictures. They are charging $1.23 for a haircut. They have a Brazilian blowout for $17.50, which does sound like a lot. But if you don't know what that is, just know that they cost anywhere between $75 to $325 in America, depending on the salon you go to and the length of your hair. Now, check out how much they're charging for a shirt. They want 88 cents for a shirt, and notice the sign for the bags? That's $1 a bag. That's better than Temu prices. How about how cheap fresh vegetables are? If you're wondering, 20 pesos converts to 35 cents. And the most expensive item is lemons for 88 cents a lemon. Now, before I start talking about rent and your overall budget, I wanted to point this out. Check out the hotel that runs for about 12 hours at 390 pesos, which converts to $6.83. I doubt it's a 4-star hotel, but finding a place to rest for under $10 is not possible in the United States. If you parked your car while traveling in a rest area, you would burn more than $6 while you slept in the car while it was idling. Okay, enough of that. I just wanted to show proof of how cheap things really are in the Philippines, but let's do a budget breakdown. Starting with the most important subject and probably going to be your most costly monthly expense. That is rent, and it will depend on a lot of factors like, are you looking for a place right by the MRT, which is the Manila Metro Rail Transit System, or do you want a place by the water? All those factors can increase the cost of your monthly rent. But you can find a studio apartment for as low as $150 a month, or a beautiful condo with a gym, a pool, close to the MRT for $850 a month. On average, the cost of a one-bedroom apartment in the city center is going to be around $400 to $500 a month, and one-bedroom apartment outside of the city center will be about $250 a month. But the sweet spot for a Westerner is probably going to be closer to $550 to $650 a month. Remember, the super low-end $150 a month place will probably not be up to your Western standards. Now, the next cost that we should talk about is food. That will be another item that will greatly fluctuate depending on the individual. Are you planning on eating out most of the time or cooking at home? Are you the type who likes to order takeout? The average meal at a local restaurant for one person is about $3.50. So that's a lot better than even going to McDonald's today. I've seen places where the Big Mac meals are going for about $15. But if you go with the middle ground of eating out sometimes and cooking at home sometimes, you'll be paying about $300 to $400 a month on food. Now let's talk about alcohol. You can expect to spend about $2 on a 12-ounce bottle of imported beer and a little over $1 for local beer. You'll have to take into consideration of your drinking habits in order to get a realistic alcohol budget, but if you just did the math, someone who ate lunch out at a local place every day and had an imported beer would be spending about $5.50 to $6.50 a day on lunch. That'd be about $165 to $195 a month. So I think the $300 to $400 a month food budget is a pretty safe estimate for most people. Now, electricity will depend on if it's included in your rent or if you pay it separately. In general, if you pay it yourself, you can expect the bill to be anywhere from $50 to $90 a month. It really depends on your AC consumption though. Now, water is similar, as it will depend on if it's included in the rent or not. If you're paying it yourself, it can be anywhere from $25 to $75 a month. And for the internet, again, it would depend on whether it's included in the rent or not, but if it's not, you're looking at about $20 to $35 a month. Now, phone services are pretty cheap compared to the US and will run you about $20 to $40 a month depending on the plan you select. Transportation. So it will depend on how you want to travel around the city. You can use the MRT, which costs about 35 cents to 50 cents per ride. You can use the bus, which is about 30 cents, or a taxi, which will run you about a couple of dollars per trip. But I think it would be safe to say that a budget of about $75 a month for transportation would be reasonable. And before we add it all up, we should mention visa costs, which should cost one person about $45 a month. So I did the math for the low end and high end numbers. So going off this, your monthly budget should be between $1,210 to $1,410 a month, leaving the average Social Security retiree with $600 to $800 extra a month. Now, you could do it a little cheaper, as both calculations have the $650 rent included in them, and plenty of people can find cheaper. Just do what you're comfortable with as far as your Western standards, but it can also get a lot more expensive fast because, like any city, Manila has a lot of extras that can add up quickly, like nightlife and stuff. But with that being said, do you know anywhere in the United States where you can rent an apartment and live under $1,500 a month? Maybe in the Stone Age.